Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episodes 33 through to 36. Now, Chris, where would you like to start today?
Well, Dave, I'm just going to say that the producers are one of my bellends of the week, because why the hell have we got another week of this fucking bullshit? I'm sorry, I'm not having it. I know, like we said last week, sometimes more reality TV is better, but not this time, Dave. We've got another week to do a crap experiment that didn't get us any further along than where we even started at the back end of last week. It should have gone straight to commitment, the main commitment ceremony or whatever it is, and they all wear the wedding dresses or whatever they're going to wear. The end. So we've had another week. We've had a bit of drama, which is what I love talking about. But I just think it's too much that. And they're going to introduce this. I think you said it last week in the UK one, and it's like, no, there's no need for that. That you could bring this in, but earlier in the show, where you could almost have like somebody could come in on a day and say, "Do you fancy swapping?" Now that'd juice it all up, Dave. After say a couple of weeks, but no, I'm not out. But I'm just totally unnecessary for me, I think.
I agree with you. I mean, they're trying to stretch it out more than a warm-up for a naked toga party, aren't they? So completely unnecessary. If they wanted to get rid of another week and replace it with this one, I just think they're trying to get more episodes. And unfortunately, like I say, they'll just end up bringing this into the UK, and now 40 episodes, 40 fucking episodes, Chris. It's getting to Love Island territory. 2 months, 6 days a week, or 7 if you watch the unseen bits. God, I'm fatigued just thinking about it now. But I think probably for me, it's because the couples. There's like one couple in it, Jeff and Ree, who you think might actually be a couple. It sort of, there's entertainment. I actually quite liked quite a lot of the stuff that was going on here. I mean, God, Harley Quinn was in Joker too, wasn't she? But I think there's characters on this season who give Harley Quinn a run for her money. But yeah, I just think for me, I'm a bit fatigued. I'm ready for it to be over now.
Yeah, I'm with you. And you hit on a good point. There was a good bit of drama this week, good bit of talking points, but I don't know. They're just fucking squeezing the pips out of this even longer. And as long as they get more episodes, these absolute dead legs are going to be completely like, oh, yeah, we'll go on any date you want. And that was quite apparent with pretty much all of the couples, bar Ree and Jeff, who looked like they've actually got some morals, Dave, and didn't read the script. And at the moment, I don't know what's happened outside. So could say or listen, they both like hate each other, never see each other again. But I've been quite surprised and gutted, really, because we say it all the time, and I know, like, we'll talk about commitment in a minute. The experts' fucking conversion rate is absolutely shit. And we know they're not
Shocking, isn't it?
experts. As you said, yeah, they're just presenters, celebrities. They're just people who are there. Or as you call them, Dave, the ornaments, which I do like, the ornaments.
Yeah.
But it is so it, so wrong. It's just that these guys are living off the back of it, aren't they? Of like, the experts, and they're not. And it's like this new concepts, and I know, like, we want to talk about it in a minute, but the new concepts, I just don't understand why you would bring it in. If anything, you'd want to streamline the process. I don't think the intruder couples need to be there. You could streamline this to under 30 episodes, 100%. Or even 20 days, that'd be even better. But there you go. And it's not like I hate the show, I don't, but it's a long old slog listening to the same old shit and the same old repeated segments either side of the ad breaks and everything that we've seen all the way through the episode. We said it last time, it's just padded out. Anyway, I'm fatigued as well. I'm moaning and being grumpy, Dave. But anyway,
You know what?
sorry.
Obviously, we've just embarked on a YouTube experiment, haven't we? But when we started this, it was all about, you were a massive Love Island fan, and I was going to be the cynic. And then, like Michael Corleone, they pulled me in. But I think from your little synopsis there, I mean, I think I enjoyed this week a lot more than you did. I am fatigued. I am ready for it to be over, but I don't think it was a bad week either. I think the intruder couples have to be there because you have to account for the fact that some of the couples are going to leave. So you can't just whittle it down. I mean, if couples actually left when they should do, you'd have no one at the final vows, would you? You'd just have Jeff and Ree or Ollie and Tani a couple of seasons ago or whenever it was, and that's it. So I think you need to have that influx of people coming in. And I don't know, I kind of liked, it's a very simple new task, isn't it? Do you want to stick or do you want to twist? Do you want to see someone else that we matched you with?
Yeah.
And it's such a simple thing, but the way the different people reacted to it, I kind of enjoyed this week, I must admit.
Well, yes, because we're going to go on a rant in a minute about a certain character, Dave. So you're probably right. I'm going to be a total hypocrite and go, actually, I really enjoyed it, Dave. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there about this extra bit. But anyway, back to the commitment ceremony. So start off the week, commitment ceremony, what's going to happen, who's going to get, we had the whole thing with Dave, didn't we? And the way he'd switched. And we said last week about the complete 180, different character. He's now, committed, Dave. He's all in, and they had a quieter week this week, didn't they? Well, it's absolute bollocks, isn't it? But him and Jamie, there's no physicality between them. There's no chemistry now. They just seem to be getting along. And I know, like, they both said stay. We'll do another week. The experts were like, well, convince us what? And Dave was just word soup, wasn't it? He was just trying to come up with any old bollocks to stay in the show. It's nothing to do with Jamie. He's bottled it. She loves him. He doesn't love her. I just want to stay here till we get to the final commitment ceremony. And that's basically what these two are going to do now, no matter what it is. I think he's really hurt her. And I think she knows that, but she's just going to play the game now for the next 4 episodes that we've got to watch. So yeah, I'm not really convinced.
I think at the commitment ceremony, though, Dave had this um, weird personality switch where he just seemed to go from this really supportive, caring person to this psychopath, proper Patrick Bateman stuff. And then this week, he was again a little bit back to his normal self, but he was really trying hard. Whereas there is a difference, though. I mean, you can see Jamie's more kind of standoffish. She's got her walls up, as the saying goes, and so I feel like they've just become mates. And yeah, there's nothing doing there. They will see it through to the end, but yeah, there's a definite evolution of how they've been. Not that cuddly together, then the very distant, and now it's like, oh yeah, I should probably give her a dead arm or something.
Headlock, maybe a headlock, Dave.
Headlock, possibly. But that's affection, though, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
you know,
Sorry.
he
Yeah.
probably wouldn't go that far. But yeah, I was again a bit surprised. I felt like Jamie might be a bit more icy towards him. After the conversation with Jamie's sister last week, and the realization that Jamie's got a little bit of a pattern where she's ignoring the signals from the other person, and then she's going all in when the other person isn't all in. So yeah, I think I'm checked out for that couple, though. It's definitely not going to happen, is it? So whether they do the final vows or not, it's all hollow for me.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. I'm with you. I don't think there's any bonus. These are not going to be together outside the show. They're probably not now. I haven't looked at anything, to be fair. And these people listening going, well, Chris, let me tell you. So I know that
Yeah.
you guys are probably ahead of us. I also only just finished in Australia the last week or so. But another couple, Dave, sick to fucking death of Adrian and Athena. They come in, best mates, they're in love again. It's all like, the experts like, wow, look at these guys go, and all that bollocks when they get to the dinner party. Nonsense. Completely turned it on for the commitment ceremony. They're both going to stay. But I know we'll talk about like by the end of the week, by this sort of like dating thing that went on. But absolute bollocks. Just bollocks. Adrian has spoke so much sense with the other couples. And that's what I find with everyone's got an opinion on everyone else's relationship, and it's the correct one. But then they're being hypocrites themselves because they can't run their own relationship. And I think the
Yeah.
more it's gone on, and I'm not just digging Athena up because I think Adrian's been an absolute bell end, but it's so obvious why she's in there. It is, and if she's doing it for her and her son to get a career to make some money, fair play to her. But it is literally at the point where like you can't keep with this guy. He's not interested. And by the end of the week, I was like, well, I didn't even feel sorry for her by the end of the week. I was like, well, this has gone on every week. And you've been told by
Yeah.
every single person, why are you not listening? Your sister has even said it. Why are you not listening? Because you want to stay in for the fame. That's why. So you're putting yourself through it, Bronte style. And I'm checked out with them, Dave. Another couple, absolute bollocks.
Yeah, I think Bronte is the right comparison, to be honest. I mean, I don't think she's quite as obvious, but the red flags are all there. And I start to sympathize a little bit for Adrian because I think, well, he's been fairly consistent, a consistent knob at that. But,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a nice person, but I haven't seen him wobble or shake his position at all. And it's Athena, the one who's it's as if she wants to be playing this character that has got all of these troubles and these conflicted feelings, whereas he's like, yeah, not bothered, mate, or sorry, mate,
Yeah.
hi.
You're right.
So
You're right,
yeah,
Adrian. Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Subtitles, man, just stick on what it sounds roughly like, and people will believe it. So, yeah, he could be saying completely something else, couldn't he? But yeah, I think I found myself by the end of the week zero sympathy for Athena. I'm afraid I can't believe that someone would be that gullible. And yeah, the law of probability says, she's just desperately trying to stay on the show at all costs. And Adrian just hasn't quite got the memo. She wants
No.
him to like, come on, play up a little bit that you're conflicted, you've got feelings. And we'll talk about the new task in a bit, I guess. But yeah, again, I feel like in that scenario, she was the one not being consistent, and he was the one being consistent.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. And I know, like I said, it all ties in each couple this week, but absolute nonsense. And another one, Dave. I mean, it's like a who's who of Bellends, isn't it really? Been Paul and Karina, and I'm going out from the get go. Paul has been consistently my Bellend of the week, and he is even for me, he's the Bellend of the season. This guy, absolute cock. That just complete knob. They do the whole, what's going to go on, what's happened this week. Paul gets a bit of a telling off again, but they're in a great place, and the experts are like, oh, it's great to see. Again, there's been so many instances in this show when they should have stepped in. They should have kicked him off now. It's become even more apparent as this has gone on. Like that was such a bad call, but we all know why because it brings the drama. But from a psychological point of view and the mental health side of it for Karina, this guy has done her damage now for any relationship she gets in after him, and I hope to God she's not still with this clown. That she'll be
No
so
chance.
defense. She can't be. She can't be. Um, she'll be on the defensive, and again they stay, and I'm just like, what is the week going to come? And we know that we've got this date thing coming up and all that, and I'm like, yeah, this is playing into Paul's fucking wheelhouse again of just like being devious, doing what he wants, and then asking for forgiveness. And that's just his MO. He just does the same thing all the time, doesn't he? But again, I know I'm jumping, but what a
Yeah,
clown he is.
it is a pattern. I mean, we're sticking to the commitment ceremony at the minute, but so I don't think they were that eventful at the commitment ceremony, but definitely when we get into later in the week, there is a pattern of behavior there where it's like do something really fucking stupid and then just acts like the most mournful person in the world and
Yeah.
beg forgiveness. But fucking hell, I can't imagine that's got legs. So I can see the half life of relationships being quite short, being less than a year because, the first time, maybe the second time, maybe the third time, the other person, the partner, will forgive that, and it seems to put on this character that's genuinely sorry. But then, like I say, we said this with the whole punching of the wall thing. The weird thing for me that I found troubling was, he was acting like he was really sorry, but the words, his explanation of it said that that's not what he really thought. And it was almost like a kid getting told off. You know, he was sorry because he'd been caught. He wasn't sorry because of the thing that he'd done. But yeah, just a couple that's got no chance. And when it started off, I actually had high hopes for this couple. But yeah, the sooner they call it a day, the better.
Well, Dave, let's go to another couple in the same situation.
Should we stick in Ree and Jeff in the middle or something? You
I
know?
was hoping. Well, I put them in the notes at the end, but like,
Yeah.
really, you're probably right. Just to lighten the mood a little bit, that there is some sort of love there. I mean, going off the couples, we've got 6 couples. We've got like, well, it's less than a 20% success rate with the experts, if because these are the last 6. So, I was going to say TJ and Beth, another, but
Yeah,
another
yeah.
strange. Like you said it last week. She's 27. She's never been in a proper relationship. There's nothing wrong with that in some respects. You're hoping that as you get older, you're prepared more. And then they put her with this guy who is low key, Dave, a fuckboy, really. Let's be honest. He's all smiles, been really nice. He's sort of read the room on what the other guys are doing who've been complete dicks. And he's gone the other way. But then when it's come to the crunch again, intimacy, all the other things that happen off camera, he's just not interested. And she's just got sick of it, thinking, all right, he's a bit nervous, we're trying to get each other. I've never known, Dave, a guy come out with bullshit stuff about, I want to find you on an emotional level. And when a guy's saying that, as 2 men, we can comment on this. That means they don't like that person physically. And I'm not being horrible. And then maybe the odd one out there go, well, that's wrong, Chris. What a load of bollocks. Bull fucking shit. You know what I mean? I don't believe it, Dave. That's my opinion. Could be, being a middle-aged, grumpy old man, I don't know. But and you're going to shoot me down and go, actually, Chris, you're wrong emotionally. And there has to be an emotional connection, but the physical thing has got to be there. Men are by DNA biology stimulated by visual,
Oh God!
things
Don't
more
go
than.
all fucking Joe Rogan like you're some
I'm not going
fucking
Joe Rogan.
scientist for
Dave,
biology, some
no,
historian.
no, no, Dave, you didn't let me finish because that's why men watch. Listen, let me finish.
All right,
That's
sorry.
why
Go
men watch porn and women read books. That's what he said. But there you go. And I'm
You
not Joe
know,
Rogan, Dave. I'd have his money, but I'm not Joe Rogan. But that's just my
David
opinion on
Brent.
that.
David Brent did say women are dirty. You remember? So,
Yes.
you know, according to David Brent, they
Yes.
could
Not
watch
me.
porn as well. So
Mm.
I don't know,
That was where I
but
was going,
anyway,
Dave, before I went
yeah.
all like, I was having a TED talk for everyone.
Based on my scientific study, where I separated, a cohort of men and a cohort of women, and yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
uh,
Offended
yeah,
everyone now.
I
I know
think.
my expert.
But the essence, there is a nub in what you're saying there
Yeah.
that TJ's not really interested at all. I think I said it last week where he's got a call from an agent who said this would be
Yeah.
great for your career to go on there. He's like, oh yeah, fine. A little bit of slap and tickle, that's fine. He's obviously got the diplomatic skills. He's
Ability.
got like a bit of a politician in him, so to speak. But I think he just isn't interested. And now I think I maybe give him a little bit of a pass last week because saying, well, maybe he just hasn't figured it out for himself as well. But the fact that he's put down that he'll stay, I think, is a big kind of indicator that, oh no, right, because you're not interested at all. He knows it. He can't even ask the question. He can't even be on the fence with, are you going to want to carry this on after the experiment? If he was on the fence, he'd be saying, well, maybe, yeah, I could see that, or something like that. He can't even do that, but he still wants to see it out for another week to make sure he gets that screen time and the followers. So yeah, I'm out on
Yeah.
like giving TJ a pass. So I was going to say PJ then, not
Or
PJ
you
and
going to
Duncan.
say something else then,
PJ,
Dave? But yeah,
PJ and
cool.
Duncan will always get a pass, but yeah. TJ, not a pass from me.
No, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. So I won't be going into one of my TED talks again for the next couple, Dave. Uh, Jackie and Ryan, absolute waste of everyone's time, but box office again, like it's ridiculous. They stay together. Everyone's just sat there. Every other couple is worn out with their antics, aren't they? Just completely like, oh my god, here we go again. But again, Jackie gets called out quite rightly. The situation, we said it last week, his friends were out of order the way it was, but it's unbelievable. And Ryan is saying to her, I'm out. We saw the dinner party, the experts. John had to step in, I don't know how many times. And I think that VT ruined it a bit, the build up at the end of last week, what was going to happen,
Oh
because
no.
she got tore strips off quite rightly. He isn't innocent. We know that. But in the context of what's going on, he just wanted out. And the fact that she said stay. However, Dave, I'm still calling bollocks because if I was with someone like that and I didn't want to be with him, whether it's on a show or not, you're not getting paid for it. Unless you're going to say to me, you're going to lose 150 grand, 200 grand. That's fine. I'll play on. They're getting paid nothing for this. Just get up, Ryan, and leave. I know it's part of the show, but they act as if they're fucking under lock and key and they're in prison or something and they can't leave.
Yeah.
She even said, just go if you don't want to. And it was almost one of them things of like, oh, what you said I couldn't go. Yeah,
Yeah.
said just go. And I don't like Jackie at all. She was completely out of order. But right, it's like, all right then. Oh, go and sit down then. It was all like pantomime, wasn't it? It was all like the drama of it, but ultimately she was totally out of order and she got tore strips off finally and that laugh is just I don't know what it is. It's just ridiculous. And John's like, no, no, I've got to stop you. I've got to stop you right there. I've got to stop you. But I don't think they do it enough to her. I think she seems to get a bit of a pass. And those tears, Dave, there has not been one fucking ounce of water drip from them tears. I'm sorry, there hasn't. There has not been any tears come because she's just talking nonsense. She's an absolute faker, but great TV as well. Let's be honest, great to watch because she's so erratic.
Yeah, but great and sort of infuriating as well. I mean,
Mm.
I almost, not quite, but I almost felt sorry for Ryan because when he was on the couch, you can recognize that sort of, like I'm just out. I've got nothing left. I'm just done. Um, and she just didn't seem to recognize it. And then she did that complete switch, didn't she? Where she's like, "Oh no, I think you're great," and this, that, and the other, putting the full, if you leave, I might have to leave as well, sort of thing on. And I wasn't sure what to buy in it. And again, the experts called her out, and then she seemed to show a little bit of remorse, but I just wasn't really buying it. I thought it'd go that way where she'd say stay no matter what. And considering she doesn't ever watch TV, apparently, well, she seems to know the reality game, doesn't she? As to what she needs to do to get some screen time. So I think there might be some porky pies there.
Yeah, just excellent TV again. And I know that that's like the commitment ceremony and we're off again. And you're like, oh, here we go. So we're going to get this new game. How does it work? What are they doing? This final task thing. And it's the way, what I love about it, Dave, as like everyone leaves, is it's the way the experts like play it up. Mel, especially, oh, yeah, we've got them all together. And what we're going to do is you've got them together, and this really will define the club. Are they going to stay? I'm like, it's like, I've worked with salespeople in years gone by, and I've seen better sales pitches. You're selling an audience for something that we didn't need. However, it was perfect timing for Paul and Karina. Again, this is where for Paul, every week there's been something, sorry. And I found it quite worried by the end of the week. After, and we'll talk about this, is at the dinner party where they kept playing the sorries, like a little montage and stuff,
Yeah,
Dave. Like,
yeah.
and that's, you don't realize when someone's doing that. And it's like what we both said before is he acts like a cock. As soon as he got a whiff, go and see someone else. He's not thinking of, oh, it'd just be interesting to see where, this, I can't even think there's any justification. If you're happy, I don't understand why you would do that. the ones who are not unhappy, knock yourselves out, whoever the
Yeah,
others
yeah.
have you. And I don't mind that at all because they've got troubles in the relationship. That's fine. But when you're supposed to be solid and the things he's put her through, what world would you think that was singing? Well, I'd say what world it is, Dave. The world of Paul. The world of I can do whatever I want, but you
Yeah.
can't. Coercive, controlling behavior. He's an absolute nut job, and I'm sorry, he deserves everything he got this week. I think, to be honest, I think it was completely out of order. I mean, Karina just went, didn't she? She'd gone, I'm going, but then it's like, just
Mm,
fuck him off, and she did by the end of the week. I was so glad she kicked him out, but
yeah.
again, his wording is always he asks for forgiveness, and then when he's not getting that forgiveness, he then starts blaming everyone. He starts saying, "Well,
Mm,
she's not forgiven me. I don't know why. I've said sorry so many times." And the guys in the group, and that is his MO. So if he doesn't get that forgiveness, he then starts like his dialogue changes to blaming everyone else. Well, they're not listening. I've
mm,
said sorry. What more do you want? He's such a bellend. This guy, such
yeah.
a horrible guy.
I'd have to say he's definitely my bell end of the week, and he featured quite prominently, didn't he? So we'd seen Jeff and Ree, and they weren't bothered at all. They were like, "Okay, do you want to go and meet someone else who's been scientifically picked for you?" No, I'm happy with what I've got, thanks. And then compare that to Paul's right, fucking off. He's not thinking about anyone else other himself than himself and little Paul. That's all he's thinking about. But when he came back, he started love bombing Karina, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's like really laying it on thick and not really giving her a chance to respond. He said, "Oh, I was just thinking about you the whole time." I was like, really? And so you could see eventually she gets to the point where she's starting to process it all, and then you get the flare up and then you go into the, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," "I was just thinking of you, and I'm such a naturally curious person." It's like, I just love too much. That's my main problem. I give and I give, and all of these excuses are just flowing out of him. Like, it's you can imagine it's that pattern of his whole life. And so yeah, I mean, I don't think I needed the montage of sorries. I think it's been an obvious pattern with him. But yeah, it got really quite uh got past the point of being entertaining, didn't it? It was like, oh shit, this is wrong, and someone should step in if it wasn't a shower of bastards producing this thing, but
Yeah.
unfortunately it is. So they're going to keep him on and keep stringing it out. But I was glad for Karina. I still go back to that whole retreat thing. I wasn't happy with the way Karina um, sort of just went into Lauren's corner. And I think the whole thing where she's trying to avoid conflict, but which in turn sort of creates the conflict. I don't. I'm not a massive fan of hers. However, there's no way that I'm going to back Paul in that relationship. I'm in Karina's corner for sure. And yeah, I think come the next commitment ceremony, I'm anticipating she'll say she's going to leave, but he'll say stay, so it'll carry on. Oh no, there is no commitment ceremony.
No,
This was
no.
Black Bomb, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
it's the final vows. Oh my word, are we going to see the whole black outfit sort of thing, like in the UK one? I think we could see that with Karina.
I hope so. He deserves it. And even the girl that he went on the date with, she said straight away, "I'm getting cheater vibes straight away, straight
Yeah,
away."
yeah,
They had a bit of a chat. It was so awkward. All the stuff he said afterwards, oh, Dave. Oh, I knew as soon as I got there, it was a mistake.
yeah,
Like she's gonna watch this, mate. You were
yeah,
chatting
yeah,
as if it was a date. Yeah,
yeah,
nothing happened, and I think probably that was more to do with the lady he was on the date with, but she got it off him straight away. She's like, "Nah, there's
yeah.
something there's something off here about this guy."
Like, why would you be here?
Yeah,
Like, if
he
if
wouldn't.
things are going so great, why are you here right now? I think it's a valid question. And that's why I say I didn't mind the new task, because I'd have thought certainly a few weeks ago when Karina and Paul were better, then I'd have thought there's no way you'd pick to go on a date. but actually, it just it's so far into the experiment to do that, I thought was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just a sneak, and it? A snake, really. But then obviously you said
Yep.
Ree and Jeff. Then we had Jamie and Dave's date, but Jamie didn't have a date. He stood her up. I didn't really mind that. I didn't find that because of the situation they've been in, and it's mainly Dave has done this, as we've said. If they were as strong as they've been, say, 3 weeks ago, then I was like, nah, you should have
Yeah.
gone the date. I mean, Jamie said, I'm really curious. I went on it. They laughed about it, didn't they? Because she got stood up, and there was no fallout. It depends how you define your relationship. And I don't think whether Karina the way she went, I think that's probably right because what Paul's done, it's like, come on, you've hurt me so many times. Whereas Dave now is just getting a bit, well, we don't know if he's been Veronica, do we? But officially, but it looked like that. That was the root of it all. Even if he was, feeling like that for weeks, it was almost as if once he, whatever happened with Veronica, even if it was on like an emotional level, something changed in that guy. But so I didn't mind them doing the date thing. It didn't work out. That's fine. Adrian and Athena, again, the same thing happened again. She goes on a date. This guy, I didn't necessarily thought they looked compatible, visually looking at him. He looks quite a bit older, but I felt like he said everything to her
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
like he was happy to relocate, asked about a son, and then the revelation come out that it was nearly 3 weeks before Adrian even mentioned the son. He's got no
Yeah.
interest in meeting him. You said that last week. That's why I have no sympathy for any of this now because it's like
Yeah.
your son is the most important person. Whoever you get with, obviously, realistically, she needs someone who's maybe got a son or a daughter themselves, so they can relate to that. That's it. But getting with some guy who obviously is a football, he's another TJ, and we've seen that from the start. Like you said, he's been consistent, but he's been consistently a dick. And he was
Yeah.
happy on that date, wasn't he? He was loving it
Oh,
on that day. Oh, fuck it. He 100% played up to that. I mean, it didn't go anywhere, and they ended the date, and then he got a bit shitty with her because of this guy who she got. I think he was called Tim, who she went on the date with. But this guy was just being normal, like any of us would say if you're on a date with somebody, wouldn't you? You're
yeah.
just asking about them as a person, where have you come from, what's the family situation, and he give her more answers than Adrian has in 7 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you say it's normal. I think it's normal. But most of the bellends we see on these reality TV shows, it doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be normal. It's certainly not normal for Adrian. But again, like I say, I'm not defending him, but he has been consistent. He's been like that since the wedding. He doesn't really care about her. He literally said when she's and again, I'm going to say playing being this soul, destroyed person after she's been on the date. It's like, oh, it's great, but what was it? What was it, Adrian, that made us go on that date? And he's like, I don't care. It's just, I'm
Yeah.
here on holiday, mate. I'm getting a bit of screen time. Gonna have a lovely time when I get out of here. I tell you what, so many people are gonna be in my DMs. I'm gonna be laughing. And she's like, "Oh, but maybe our relationship isn't as strong as we thought it was." I'm like, "Oh, come on, give me a break. I'm not buying any of this anymore."
No, I'm with you, Dave. And I think like that was everything she needed. If she wasn't going to listen, as I said before, a family, a sister, a friend, whoever, she's not going to listen to them. Some random guy who she goes on a half-hour date. All right, set up. Even if he's been coerced by the producers to say this is what you need to say for this date, it's
Yeah, yeah,
about a son, about wanting to relocate, blah blah blah. And maybe they're trying to say to her, just listen to what's being said around you, what people are saying. Again, such fucking fake in it. So, but it is what it is, Dave. That's the nature of these shows. We know that after 6 bloody years, but
yeah,
it's sad, sad. And then and then the last one was Jackie and Ryan, who seemed to revel in the dates. I mean, Jackie got the guy's number. She said to Ryan she hadn't flirted, but then even Ryan was like, well, yeah, there was a connection there, sort of thing. So another couple, again, we at the start of the week, finished as far as I was concerned. But
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, so I expect it. I mean, Ryan had wrote leave. That's the other thing that I think is normal, right? If you've just said you're going to leave, then go on the date. Now,
Yes.
I think for Jamie, I kind of give her a pass as well, like you say, because of the way things have gone with her and Dave. And, you know, I do believe her that she's naturally curious. I think if this challenge had come a couple of weeks ago, probably think she wouldn't have gone. But you know, they're just mates, so I think that's okay. So that's a scenario where someone said stay, but I can kind of give them a pass to say go on the date and satisfy this curiosity. But so Ryan going on the date made perfect sense to me. He said he wanted to leave. He was completely checked out. He was done. Go and find out who this person is. But for Jackie to put on what I can only describe as the full Paul, remorseful, oh, yeah, I'm sorry for all this. Like, for her to go on the date, and she said she wasn't flirting, like you say, she was in full on overdrive. And I do feel like the producers have screwed her over a bit there as well, because all the stuff like that where she doesn't know she's being filmed, where she's saying, like, oh, yeah, I'll be out of here in 11 days, you know, to this other guy and it's like, okay, you think we're not filming you, but we really are, and we're showing you, you know, what we're showing the world what a gameplay you are. So I thought, you know, it was entertaining to see. But yeah, I do think the producers screwed her over there.
Yeah, I think so. But what we need, Dave, we need that stuff, don't we?
100%. I loved
They
it.
yeah, I was gonna say I loved it, and they are leaning. We've said this on not just on Maths, but on Love Island. I think because the audience is getting a bit more aware of this. We've said it loads of
Yeah.
times. Me and you know, us doing podcasts, not just us, but the bigger podcasts than us. But they are starting to call it out. Unless you're on the official Love Island one, you might as well be watching the WWE and fucking follow the fake storylines. And they just go with it, don't they? Like they don't really say anything like,
Kayfabe.
yeah, kayfabe. Oh, Dave, you don't even knows the words kayfabe. Yeah, the old,
Down with the lingo.
yeah.
Baby
But
face, you know, the
babyface,
heel.
yeah, heel.
Honestly, you mention it all the time. I do listen occasionally, and
It's
especially,
really.
you know, when because we're on camera now, I can't, when you're talking, just be like, oh, just, I'll just
Oh,
scroll through. Oh,
with
what
all
were you
my
saying? What were you
yeah,
saying, Chris?
with all my might, I'm not trying to go on Twitter as we're talking, David. And
Yeah.
also, yeah, the same thing. You know that we're actually listening to each other because we don't repeat what the other one said a sentence
Yeah,
later
I
because
know.
that's one of
That,
our classic lines. Out.
that's a change, actually, isn't it? Since we've come onto YouTube, it's like,
Yeah.
we're not repeating each other.
What?
Oh, I wonder
All right.
why.
It's amazing. All of a sudden, I've gone. Dave's on. I've come out with some good points. You know.
Yeah.
And you're going, I wish I could still
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
switch off from Chris's, but there you go. But the no, I think I
I
think
just
like
want to put the kettle on again. Yeah.
put Salem there in this chair, be like, right,
I know
yeah,
he's
yeah.
gone. Oh, he's having a little sleep over there now. So
Not going to
he's
attack
less
you, just breathe.
curious than last week.
Yeah, that was good. I wasn't not the mic, sorry. But no, I think that ended how we expected as well, didn't we? Like, yeah, obviously, and we also had TJ and Beth as well. They were on a date. For them, it was basically just going on a date on it. They're completely out.
Oh, I mean, again, I said TJ had the politician side to him, but then when he said to her, "Oh, I wanted to go on the date to see if I could get some clarity about us," and I thought, "Oh, well, what's he going to come out with here? You know, is he going to be drawn towards her? Is he going to be pushed away from her?" And the worst thing I think he could have said is, "Yeah, I just didn't feel anything really." And I'm like, "Oh fuck me, you fucking wet
Yeah,
lettuce! Just get
yeah,
out, and stop wasting everyone's time." Because he's not like Jack and Ryan aren't going to end up together, but they are entertaining TV, you know. But TJ's not. He's just sort of a bit of a drip and just trying to stay on the screen for as long as possible. So I do think Beth's, you know, it's very clear to her it's going nowhere. But yeah, it does feel like this couple in particular is sort of wasting my time now.
yeah, 100%, 100%. And then, I mean, I know it sounds like we're sort of repeating ourselves, but everything's played out as we said. And I think as everyone watching it can see, you know, it's like, yeah, all right, we get it. We get it. You're just going to keep going. You're going to keep going. And then ultimately, at the end of the second episode, so there's like the would have been the Wednesday. It's on the UK Monday to Wednesday. The third episode of the week is when all these second dates had finished, but then Karina did follow through with what she said, Dave. She kicked Paul out. You know, Paul had come
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
like say, love bombing her. She said, "Nah, I'm out. I'm sick to death." She kicked him out and see you later, alligator sort of thing. And again, he's doing his usual. He's like, oh no, you know, all that bother. We know what's
Can't believe
coming.
it. Sacre bleu.
Yeah, he was French.
He is
Pepe
French,
Le
isn't he?
Pew. Oh, is he French?
Are you
Is he actually
fucking kidding
French?
me? Is it? Yeah,
I
he's
didn't know he was
actually French,
French.
isn't he? You
I
know,
just thought he was a
fucking
fucking
first
cock,
episode
but
we met him. Le Coq.
I didn't realise he was French. Oh, well, that explains it all then, Dave, doesn't it? I don't know what that actually means, but that explains
I
it
don't
all. He's a
know,
cock.
but thank you to all our French listeners. We
French
do love
listeners,
you.
yeah, yeah. Hang on a minute. In the background just there is Eric Cantona picture, so not that bad. I do like my French, Dave. He's there, King
When the
Eric. But anyway,
seagulls come to the surface or whatever.
put him twice in it. Oh, I've got George Best as well. But anyway, twice in it. Two Eric, two Georges, and Captain America and the Joker. But that's even yeah. Anyway, move on, Chris. Just keep talking about this. So they get to the dinner party, and Paul gets everything that's coming to him, doesn't he? Like he comes in, he's the last in, his reception, he's like, you know, the experts are watching, like, oh, she's coming on her own and all this. And then when they get to sit down, to be fair, what I struggle with this is, as I said earlier, the only couple for me who've got any sort of level to be able to go at Paul and call Paul and say where you've gone wrong was Ree and Jeff. And they
Yeah,
did. But then when you've got people like fucking Big Dave, who's obviously had a bit of little Dave and whatever was going on with Veronica, TJ, they were all saying valid points. Adrian, all these, you know, Jackie. I mean, Jackie didn't really say a lot. I don't think she could really, but a lot of the guys were coming out with comments and holding them accountable quite rightly. I'm like, the experts going, yeah, it's great to hold him accountable. Nobody's standing for his bullshit. But then
mm,
Paul was doing his usual, he's apologizing. And then because he was getting a bit of resistance, it's like he apologizes once and that should be enough. And then he's wording, he's blaming Karina, he's blaming the guys. Oh, they're all having a go at me. He's like, they're having a go at you because you're an absolute bellend. You've absolutely broke this girl down by your lies and your deception and everything else. It's just his personality, unfortunately. I don't know. I feel a little bit of. I think you guys just need to rein it in because your actions have not been thinking. I'm not justifying Paul because I think he's absolute clown, but it, it's weird when I'm watching it. Find myself not backing him, but I find myself getting annoyed, going, "You're all a bunch of pissing hypocrites. Who am I
yeah,
vouching?" You know, there's only Ree and Jeff and Karina probably who I really think hope something like nice happens to him. But like you said, Karina wasn't innocent in the situation with Lauren, but yeah, Ree and Jeff for the win, Dave. I'm just sick to death of these absolute bellends now because Paul was just unbelievable. That was his peak for me. That should be it now. I'm gone. I'm done.
yeah. I can actually, it does seem weird, doesn't it, when you've got like Adrian going for going for
Yeah.
Paul, but more than that, it was when Big Dave started going after Paul. I'm like, oh, fucking woken up, have you? You've had your
Yes.
little wobble in the week, and now you're back to having your say your piece about everyone else, and so it did irritate me a little bit. That I must admit, but then. Chris, if you got rid of all the hypocritical bellends, there's no one left to actually have a go at Paul. So, like you say, probably Ree and Jeff are the ones who can do it, but they can't all pass notes to them so that they can give them a good few words. So, yeah, it's just a necessary evil. I think you've got to have some of the bellends, a smattering of bellends, if you like, going after them. Like I say, or else there'd be no one left.
No, you're right. You're right. But it just, like you say, I think you probably said it better than me. Just simply by it just irritate me with Dave and that speaking up. Like, okay, fucking hell. As you would say, Dave, Bertie Big Bollocks. You've got a voice again, have we? Not
Yeah,
let you off the hook for the way you've treated Jamie. Okay, mate. But again,
yeah.
let's get back to that. Paul is his whole thing wrong, completely wrong. Nothing's going to change. And if we do get to the final commitment ceremony, which I think we're going to get, Dave, I hope she dumps him. I hope she absolutely trips off him and goes. I really do.
So was it? I'm trying to think now. Were the replays of him? So I watched it a few days ago now. Were the replays of him saying, "Oh, darling, TJ," when everything he'd say, he was like going into overdrive when she was having a go at him at the dinner party. I think it was replays from the commitment ceremony, actually,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh no, darling. What do you mean, darling?"
Oh, that was the week
Almost felt
before.
like it was.
Oh God,
Yeah, almost felt
yeah,
like it was Blackadder. Hello, darling.
yeah. Yeah, very patronising, wasn't it? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Really patronizing.
Mm,
I just kept using it over and over again, but again, just being utterly non-committal. And so, yeah, I don't think they have an opportunity, do they? Because we've had the last commitment. It's final vows now, so they get the big finish, I guess.
yes, and then we should get the reunion as well. Maybe next week, hopefully, unless they sandbag it a little bit in the UK and wait a couple of weeks, Dave. But sometimes they
I
do that.
don't think so. I'm guessing, unless they throw something else in there. No, we've got 4 episodes to go now, so we've got I think 2 final vows, and then they usually stretch the reunion over 2 episodes as well, don't they? So
Yeah, yeah.
almost there, Chris. Almost there.
Well, we we love Married at First, not Married at First Sight. We love Married to Medicine, Dave, the Atlanta one, which we've watched.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely love that one. Their reunions now, and I think Beverly Hills is the same. Sam watches that. I caught some of the reunion. Well, Sam watched the whole season. I haven't watched it this time. 4 episodes of the reunion. Married to Medicine was
Wow.
4 long episodes. You've got about 15 episodes for the series, and then you got four.
Why would they do that?
Unbelievable. I don't know, just to torture people. I'm saying this like I'm being forced, like, Jay, or say like Jamie, to watch it. I'm watching it for the drama, but it's just like
Or
that is
Ryan,
solely unnecessary.
stay there. It's like,
Yeah, sorry,
damn
that's
it.
what I meant, right. Yeah, 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 the Ryan. But no, no,
But
honestly, go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, did you see the news that celebs go dating as got one of the contestants announced?
Yes,
So
Dave, because we got tagged in
Olivia,
it.
yeah.
No, Vin Diesel's absolutely devastated that she's not in this one. No, fucking hell. It's the one that got away, Dave.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
Kai's such a hypocrite. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Olivia, jeez. Actually, she wasn't as annoying, was she, in the last
No.
Love Island All Stars? But yeah, I don't know. Celebs go dating. We've said it before. I'm sure I'll be watching that season, but it's only for Rob Beckett for me.
Yeah, I love him.
That's it.
Love him. He just I'll watch it. I've watched this in the start, but she will frustrate the life out of me, Dave.
Yeah.
Frustrate the life out of me. I know she will. I don't know. I mean, she's probably actually a really nice person, but she don't come across well on these shows. I think I love her. Didn't she say she had some juicy gossip and it turned out to be she just caught something by mistake and it wasn't even
No,
real?
wasn't it the so-called tea was about one of the other girls who'd said they want to win, the blonde girl who's with Joey
Oh,
Essex.
yeah, the one who's supposed to have gone out with Marcus Rashford. Yeah, the Mancunian girl.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's
she
how
said,
memorable
"Oh,
she
I'm gonna
was.
win it," and that was
Yes.
the tea. That was the big thing Olivia brought to the table. So, but it was like, yeah.
Yeah, nonsense. Anything else, Dave, before we go?
No, no, I think I'm ready for this series to be done now. I'm hoping, I got my fingers crossed, the UK don't think, oh yeah, let's add on 4 more episodes. That's a really good idea. So I just,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't need it. I think I like the concise nature of it. You got the weddings at the start, you've got them doing all these challenges, the ranking challenges, the intimacy exercises that they've got, and you've got the retreats, you've got them all getting back together, you got the intruder couples. I think at 36 episodes or whatever it was, with the reunions as well, was enough. That's all this season has to be, and
Yeah.
to stretch it out it's tipped it over the edge. However, this is going to be like The Bachelor, Chris, where I'll moan about having to watch 1 episode a fucking week, and then lament the fact that I could have just watched 1 episode a week. and then be grumpy and moan about it. So when Love Island's on 6 days a week, I would probably be thinking, "Oh, Married at First Sight." It was like four episodes a week, and only 40 episodes.
Yeah, I told you, the Chris Phelps doll. You'd be like, "I'm stabbing it again. He's a wanker
I will.
again." Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I get it. I stab it myself. Thank you so much, mate. And thanks, everyone, as always. If you want to come over to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast, come and join us over there. I've had a few new friends come and join us on Facebook, which is a good thing. All the show links are in there. And obviously, we have the chat feature where each show has its own chat as well. So come in there, guys. And it is spoiled in there, but it is a really good sort of community going now against various shows. Even though we haven't covered Big Brother, Celeb Big Brother
Mhm.
UK, there's been a great chain of like chat. I've watched a lot of it with Sam as well, to be fair, which had no intention of, but he was actually been okay. Chris Hughes, Dave, what a cock. But anyway, you've not seen it, so it
Who,
means
sorry?
nothing. Chris Hughes out of Love Island. In fact, it was his Love Island we didn't cover, Dave. He was on series 3, I think it was. But
Oh, right, okay.
yeah. Anyway, there's too much to explain, Dave. But yeah, he's not come across very well, I don't think, this
Because
series.
I did see some stuff with Mickey Rourke, but yeah, not
Oh,
enough
he's
to make
booted,
me
yeah.
not to make me actually watch it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Mickey Rourke got booted, and that was to do with Chris. But it was actually Mickey Rourke being just a horrible bell end, Dave. Basically, everything that
Mm,
he was known for as a 70-year-old man, he was even worse. But what a dick. But
yeah.
anyway, so get over there, guys. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media at cdrealitycast, and that social media now includes YouTube. So if you are watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe and press the bell notification for our next episode. So yeah, this is episode 4 or 5 now, Dave. So we've done quite well.
5
So far.
video episodes,
Mm,
yeah, so been,
yeah, we're getting there.
yeah, bit of a ride already.
Yeah, yes, it has. Yes, it has. And thank you for all the comments, Dave. I'm not happy though. I've been trolled 2 weeks running about Liverpool
Fucking
United
love it.
situation. I don't love it. One of them, you were asked about where the United had Liverpool shirt. No. And then this week just gone was Slayton United's great victory against Leon, and then we got beat
Now,
by
to be
Wolves.
fair, it was
But
not slating the victory itself, it was
it
slating
was
the
Slayton.
fact that you
Yes,
were right there in the ground minutes before that one of the
right.
greatest comebacks that has ever been seen on a football pitch, and decided it would be much better to sacrifice,
No.
I don't know, 5 minutes to get home early.
Right, anyway, I'm already gonna have a bad weekend anyway, because by about 6 o'clock tomorrow night, you're gonna be texting me when Liverpool won the league. And we're not descending
Yeah.
into a football
So
podcast, Dave. Let's not talk football ever again, okay?
we're recording a little bit ahead of time because someone's Judith Chalmers here is going to be off on holiday again, so we're having to record ahead. But the next time we speak, we will be Premier League champions, and so I will I will definitely gorge on a bit of that.
Yeah, if you do that, Dave. I'm sorry, unfortunately, this is the last ever episode of the podcast, everyone. We will. Oh, dear me. I'm just gonna bury my head now till September. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
So
because it will get
anyway.
better then, I think.
Why do we support football teams, Dave?
Yeah,
It's been unbelievable.
that's great
So,
right now. I don't know about
oh
you.
yeah, yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, I bet it is. Right, let's just move on, Dave. We need to speak to our and talk about our wonderful Patreon. So if you want to support us, please get over to not CD Val, skip patreon.com/CD Reality Cast across the screen. If you do want to come and support us over there, we do appreciate everyone who supported myself and Dave, past and present. Now, the roll call of honour for today, and a big thank you to everyone who's done it. I mean, 6 years of this has been unbelievable. So thank you so much, guys. It's really nice of people who've, dropped by, supported us. Honestly, it's so humbling. We do appreciate it. The big thank you to Holly, Darren, Anna, Tilly, Marcy, Stacey, Sinead, Kathleen, Sims, Nick, Danielle, Kim, Manda, Larissa, Nicola, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Joanna, Libby, Susan, Lauren, Lucky Lou Green, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys. Amazing support as always. That list just blows my mind. Unbelievable. Well, Dave, been amazing, mate. I luckily won't have to speak to you for a week or so, which is really good. I'm sure my WhatsApp will not be working, Deb. I'm sure it doesn't work in America, but enjoy this week, my friend.
Thank you very much, sir. And thanks to all of our listeners, all of our viewers, all of our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.